As most players know, in Minecraft there are three particular types of mob: passive, neutral, and hostile. Each of the mobs in these categories have been added into the game with a purpose in mind. Not all mobs achieve their purpose, but today I'll be ranking the ones that not just achieve their purpose, but excel at that purpose. I'll specifically draw two examples from each of the three mob types. Beginning with passive, the second most successful passive mob is the mushroom. Many mobs in the game exist for the purpose of being livestock, and the mushroom is simply the ultimate livestock. It has the greatest array of potential items it can drop, ranging from red mushrooms, to steak, to stew, the latter serving as an infinite food source, and under the right conditions, said stew can even give particular potion effects. This is the animal that does it all, and the only thing stopping it from taking first is the sheer challenge or luck involved in finding one at all. The most successful passive mob would have to be a villager, added into the game with the intent to be traded with, and for a while their trades were often seen as absolutely horrendous. But when 1.14 rolled around, villagers became much more customizable with potential to have amazing trades. I've placed the villager at number 1 because their trades can be effective enough that many players prioritize using their trades over traditional methods of obtaining items, as successful villager farms are a force to be reckoned with. Moving on to neutral, the second most successful neutral mob is the wolf. This is the original mob added into the game with intent to be tamed as an animal companion, and they still appear to be the community's favourite. Though they can assist in combat, their value in the eyes of players is often sentimental, to the point where some players would value their wolf's life over their own. To be fair, wolves can't respawn. And though the same can be said for other pets like ocelots or axolotls, those pets are both passive mobs, while wolves are technically neutral until tamed. The most successful neutral mob, however, has to be the Piglin. This relatively new addition to Minecraft was added for two reasons: to give the player an incentive to use gold armor, and as another entity for the player to trade with. For their former intention, it's clearly succeeded. In playing in survival, most players will don a piece of golden armor, since piglins are practically everywhere in the nether, and are essentially hostile if they catch you without it. And for the latter, though regular survival players may not see their trades as worthwhile, speedrunners en masse use their trades as a faster method of obtaining ender pearls needed to beat the game. They were added with two intentions, and both were a great success. As for hostile mobs, the second most successful hostile mob is, and hear me out on this one, the Phantom. This mob was designed to give players a hard time and an incentive to sleep, and because their attack pattern is quite annoying to deal with, they succeed in their intent very well, while also succeeding in being an absolute hindrance to the player. The reason they aren't at number 1, however, is because they seemingly succeed at what they do too well, as the community en masse hates the Phantom, to a point where they want it gone. And be it out of hatred or incompatibility with multiplayer, it's not uncommon to see multiplayer worlds in which the Phantoms have been manually disabled from ever spawning. And before we move on to the most successful hostile mob, like and subscribe and I'll release a ranking video of the least successful mobs tomorrow. If not, I will still release it, but it'll probably be a bit later with maybe a Geometry Dash thing in between, I don't know. Without further ado, the most successful hostile mob should be painfully obvious, right? It's the Creeper. This is one of very many mobs added to the game with the sole intention of hindering the player, though technically it's also a source of gunpowder. But why is the Creeper at number 1? Simple, it's nature. When it spawns near something you've built, it will hinder you more than any other mob, because you must be extremely careful to kill it, or you risk damaging your build, a risk completely unique to the Creeper. Not to mention they're a very quiet mob, so while you'll hear the groans or a zombie or the rattling of bones in a cave, the only tell that a Creeper is near is very quiet footsteps, and the hiss they let off once they're right beside you. The Creeper has consistently been a complete nuisance ever since they were added to the game, so they're easily the most successful hostile mob. That's all for now, thank you for watching, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you around. Have a good one.